stillness and blessings, love and light, health and wholeness. Enjoy this meditation as we pierce through the darkness into the light. Stillness and blessings, love and light, health and wholeness. Still your mind as we pierce the darkness into the light. Stillness and blessing, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and blessings, everybody. Love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and blessings, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and blessings, love and light, health and wholeness. To one and all on this high vibrational Sunday. I ain't gonna try to take a lot of time. Let me shut these windows so the noise don't obstruct us too much. I hope everybody's doing well. Once again, I'm gonna start with this quote from the Law One. The gateway from intelligent energy to intelligent infinity opens regardless of circumstance on the striking of the hour. So within this hour, I hope whoever find their way to this message is in the highest of health, sound mind, and at peace in spirit. And as I've been saying, we need to remember to compliment, inspire, and encourage people, man. In our family, people we don't know, people in passing, in the grocery store, in the laundromat, wherever you find yourself, man. Inspire somebody, encourage somebody, and compliment somebody. I don't know what the spirit wants me to do, but since I don't know, we're just gonna proceed. We're going to the 80K loop, Law of Life. We're in the section called Death in my raggedy book. Oh, before I begin, I got a couple of two humor moments. My first humor moment is my video I did yesterday. I know y'all who watched my video probably say, man, what's wrong with this video? Well, actually, I had a nice video. I ended up having to try to record one video from another device. So therefore, it ended up looking like a bootleg movie. So I apologize to y'all for that. Y'all forgive me. And, you know, that's something I could laugh at. I found humor in myself, you know. This method of sharing, you know, sharing things I know is new. I'm not advanced on technology, you know, so I'm open to comments, insight, and better things, you know, and advice that I can do to improve what it is that I'm doing. My second humor moment is, man, I was rolling through town and I was passing the Wendy's. So I seen like four or five cars in the drive-through. And after the fourth or fifth car, I seen a little boy on a kick scooter, man, waiting to go through the drive-through, and that tickled me, man. So you know, I just wanted to share that with y'all, and we gonna get off into the ADK Luke Law Life, and our the section we on page 96, and the section we on is death, which is another touchy subject, but it used to be touchy for me as well, you know, but my only true memory of family unions was at family funerals. So I think in that sense, I won't say I became numb, or desensitized, but I came real familiar with the concept of death in order to understand it in a way that it don't affect me the way it affect others. And we're gonna go ahead in death. There's no death except by the outer conditions. No, there is no death except by the outer consciousness of mankind. So-called death is just the withdrawing of the soul, the spirit, the real self. The withdrawing of the soul, or the withdrawing of the life energy of the individualized God self, the higher self, when it withdraws from the body and you have no more animation. That part of man, the God self, part of man, made in the image and likeness of God, which ceases existence in the physical form, leaves the body inactive or unanimated. Although the organs are still there as before, the eyes do not see, the ears do not hear, and the intelligence has gone. There's no more sentience. The real self is but release of this habitat. The real self, the real thing that makes me me, that substance that makes me me, that universal energy that makes me me, that animates all life forms. It has left the physical form and gone. The real self is but released of this habitat and free to enter higher realms, known as spirit, realms of beauty, harmony, and peace. The individual just passes from this physical realm of expression into greater freedom. The individualized identity is eternal. When the outer form, the physical form has become so discordant that life releases itself. Decrepitude and death are caused mostly by misuse and waste of sex energy. Decrepitude and death are caused mostly by misuse and waste of sex energy. You got to hold your hormones, control your hormones. Decrepitude and death are caused mostly by misuse and waste of sex energy and emotional uncontrol. Now, when you think of the music and the videos, and even these commercials, it's highly subliminal messages promoting sex. Highly subliminal messages promoting sex. Misuse of sex energy. But misuse of sex energy causes decrepitude and death. Deterioration and death. Energetically and physically. The body is but a garment, and the individual has just changed garments, has just changed forms, as one changes coats at the change of seasons. The body is but a garment, and the individual has just changed garments, and as one changes coats at the change of seasons. And we about to go into wintertime, so you know you're gonna see my dress code change, because I gotta change form, change my garments according to the condition of the season. Being in a finer body, after transition, one is much more alive than before. Being in a finer body, a light body, being in the essence after transition, returning to the essence after transition, one finds itself much more alive than before. The body, the worn out garment, is composed of the elements which form our planet: earth, water, fire, air. It ought not to be buried, which contaminates the actual substance of the earth, and it is the cause of much of the distress and destruction of mankind. Decomposition causes gases, and these accumulate in the gas belts of earth. Decomposition causes gases. Think about our food. When we digest our food decomposes. And some of the food that we eat, according to what we eat, causes what? Gas. In our what? Belts. Decomposition causes gases, and these accumulate in the gas belts of the earth. By cremating the body, the qualities of discord and impurities are transmuted. Also, the destructive elements in the emotional body of the individual, to a large extent, is transmuted, which frees the individual to go to the realms of light. That is a great blessing. That has been understood, understood, and overstood by those of higher knowledge. When cremation took place, in ages past, the body was placed in the sacred fire and instantly transmuted. That substance was returned back to the universal, back to the all, back to the divine. I'm going to repeat that. That substance was returned back to the universal. In ages past, the body was placed in the sacred fire and instantly transmuted. That substance was returned back to the essence, back to the universal, back to the divine, the all mind. And that is in accordance with the great law. That is in accordance with the great law which governs the universe. Even in the realms of perfection, when a thing is of no further use, when it has served its purpose, it is returned back to the universal to be used in some other form. That made me think about some of the relationships we don't have. People of wisdom have always adhered to this law. People of wisdom have always adhered to this law. People of wisdom. They have cremated the bodies without embalming, as is even now the practice in India and with some other peoples. The body should not be embalmed, but refrigerated if held, or be in a cool place, then cremated. The ashes can be placed in a river or stream of running water. Then we have complied with the law of the four elements that completes the activity of earth, air, fire, and water. Y'all walk with me, man. It's important. Embalming has sprung out of black magic practice. Embalming has sprung out of black magic practices and from the action of mummifying corpses. Embalming from the inner standpoint is very distressing and causes much suffering to the one that has passed on. The passing of a loved one should not be a sorrow or grief to anyone. The passing of a loved one should not be a sorrow or grief to anyone. The sorrow of a loved one should not be a passing or a grief to anyone. And I ain't always understood this, but I understand it now. Grief in reality is a personal sense of loss or selfishness. Gotta let people go. Even those who are alive, when it's time for them to be free, let them go. Grief is caused by self-pity. It is a feeling of personal loss. Instead, it should be a gladness for the freedom and new opportunities of the ones you love. Even you, remaining here, can go to your loved ones during sleep hours. You can make the call to your higher self magic presence, or whatever you want to call it, to take you there while in your body asleep. You can make the call to your higher self to take you there while your body sleeps. And if on awakening you do not retain the memory, that is no proof that you were not there. Try it. You go someplace while you sleep. Your consciousness is not in that body, so you must go somewhere. Be conscious of where you go or where you travel when you sleep. And the more practice you make, the more you will be aware. Your consciousness is not in this body. My consciousness is not in this body. And your consciousness is not in your body. So you must go somewhere. Have you ever thought of that? You can visualize and ask your higher self to create a beautiful bouquet of roses or whatever flower you choose and take it to your loved one who has passed on, who has transitioned. And it will be done. There's no limit to spirit. At inner levels, substance responds and manifests instantly. That is as real and tangible. That is as real and tangible as any physical thing is real to us here. It can be done with other gifts as well as with flowers. So-called death gives one a period of rest from this outer world of living, which is strained and stressed for most people. So-called death gives one a period of rest from this outer world of living, which is strained and stressed for most people. Let's be real. Let's be real. It gives them a chance to draw strength and energy until they again come back into embodiment. Re-embodiment gives new opportunities. This has been going on through the centuries. We have come again, again, and again. We come again until we learn our lessons, until we master our reason for being. Control energy, the elements, and attain the ascension, perfection, while here on earth. Which is the purpose of goal, which is the purpose and goal of all embodiments, every last one of us. Yahshua, Jesus, Isa, or whatever you know him as, taught that and left an example of the ascension for mankind to follow. But who has done so? Are you? I believe you can. Yahshua taught that and left the example of the ascension for mankind to follow. But who has done so? The conditions, actions concerning a soul, the individual who has passed through so-called death. And you don't gotta die to pass through so-called death. And those who of us who have experienced ascension know exactly what I'm talking about. You do not have to die to experience death. I have experienced death, and I'm still sitting here before you sharing this message of higher vibratory frequency and knowledge and information. Stay with me. The conditions, actions concerning the soul, the individual who has passed through so-called death are very different today than they were 20 years ago. With that, like, share, subscribe. If you want to sow a seed to the seeds that's being sown through this information, it's $SAIWOODAGOD. That's $Sawu the God and Cash App. Love and light, peace and blessings, and health and wholeness. One.